Kristaps Porzingis has taken over the New York Knicks as our future of bright, hopefully winning ways. NBA Finals 2020, maybe. The Porzingis versus Karl-Anthony Towns matchup was something that we can look forward to in the future time and time again. But you can also look forward to lots of different types of spoofs and other style of videos based on this unicorn of a player. Most recently, Matt Hill, who has a YouTube channel that deserves far more subscribers, so please go over and give him a subscription, is the same guy who made the J.R. Smith video game. Also did a great Spurs-style animation video, and most recently came back with Detective Kristaps Porzingis. Here's a piece, a little bit of context, has to do with Detective Porzingis trying to find the real culprit of who shot or killed the rat who stole pizza in New York City. So, here's a piece.
I'm not universally beloved anymore, Dad.
We're Latvian. Lots of people don't like us. They're called Russians. No, seriously. So you shot a rat. I shot 50 once to make a blanket.
I didn't shoot the rat. I threw a bomb at it.
Then why is there a bullet hole?
Aren't you interested?
I'm just waiting for like the newspaper to spiral around like it does in the old TV, and it comes up.
I didn't want to take too much of his video because it's only about a 4-minute video, so obviously go over to his YouTube channel and check it out. It's worth watching. It's fun. I mean, the J.R. Smith video game, that's also really fun.
I mean, I just feel like it's necessary. I mean, you're 9-9. You're at the point where the hopes are in the balance. You're starting to make your way to that 500 mark that you want them to be towards the end of the season, and sometimes
And then
you
NBA champions.
Yeah, and
is
then
that how it works?
with the inevitable plummet after the new year. You just sometimes need to have something that you can look back on and be like, well, remember there was the Porzingis detective show? Like that was a highlight of our season.
So here's a wild correlation that I still don't understand what Jeff Hornacek and whatever Phil Jackson's care about the Knicks. If he's even in New York at this point in his life, he's probably here in LA with his wife Jeannie Buss or his fiancée Jeannie Buss. Here's a correlation, right? The more they use Kristaps Porzingis, and I literally mean usage rate when it is above a certain percentage, the more they stay in games late in the fourth quarter and the more they win. Okay, that's a wild correlation. But still, to this day, they still feel like, well, hold on, Brandon Jennings, who sucks as a Knick, no other way to put it. He's a bad New York Knicks player. He's had bright spots in the past. He might have bright spots in the future. He might have a bright spot this season at some point. He's a bad player right now. They still utilize him off the bench sometimes more than they use Kristaps Porzingis in certain sets that drive me mad. B-Ball Breakdown was looking into a lot of this, but it's on the paid section, so I think he's got one of them out for free. I encourage you to watch that one as well, where it goes more into the Knicks' actual sets, what they're actually doing, and why not using Porzingis is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And I can't understand this. Well, he's a sophomore. Maybe he's still trying to get ready to his NBA-ready body. Dirk Nowitzki came into the league, and I'm using that as the comparison for so many reasons. His shot is now starting to look a lot like Dirk's, actually, which is really nice. Dirk Nowitzki came into the league, and his usage percentage was through the roof because they were like, wow, we have a special player here. I understand Carmelo Anthony is still on this team. I understand why you would want to use isolation sets. And when it works, hence back-to-back or 2 out of 3 game-winning jumpers, one against the Timberwolves, it makes sense. However, the more Porzingis is utilized, the more they play him. 36 minutes a game I don't think is too much, 38, 40 minutes a game. The more they will win basketball games.
I don't understand.
Like
you're trying to convince me.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm convincing the world.
Of like some sort of science. All my response is that meme that goes around.
No shit.
Is that meme that goes around when you're looking around, the little kids looking at the lady and being like, so you're telling me that when you use your best player more often than you don't, you win games? But they're still not going to use them as much. That's the meme that all I can think about in my head.
It drives me.
It's insane.
It drives me crazy. It's not so much like a minutes management thing that I'm worried about. I think he's hit the point now in his young NBA career where he should be playing a lot more.
Here's the GIF I was actually
Which one are you trying to reference?
The same GIF that everyone uses of the little kid, this little kid.
Oh, so you're telling me.
So you're telling me. This is a camera right here. You zoom in. So you're telling me that this is it. That kid, always the best. So you're telling me that when you use your best player, you happen to win more games, but the New York Knicks will still find a way to not use him as much?
Yeah.
just to create some more pain and misery for people like you?
Here's what-
When will you go grey?
Here's soon. I'm telling you, it's going to be bad, but it's going to be a nice silver streaking.
You're gonna be a George
It's
Clooney?
going to match our background. It's going to be nice.
You gonna be a silver fox like George?
I'll always be like Larry David always said. Like I'm not going to hide whatever baldness I go through in the rest of my life. Like people who shave their heads, they're liars. They're hiding. They're not showing off their true baldness. So he's got everything going. The Bernie Sanders in 15 different directions.
Amazing.
So here's what the Knicks need to do. It's very simple. For one, don't sign Derrick Rose in the offseason. I know he's had some great moments and his crossover still looks nice. He's actually been playing. He's picked up from where he was at the end of last season, right? You don't want that on the books for 5 years. You really don't. Brandon Jennings has to go. You got to keep guys like Courtney Lee because they're important pieces on the defensive end. Melo's there to stay. We obviously know that. And Kristaps Porzingis. And you need to make moves at the trade deadline. You need to get picks back so you can build other young talent next to Chris Paul. I'll get there in a second. Next to Kristaps Porzingis. And then all that money that you can save by not signing Derrick Rose, you throw all of it at Chris Paul in the offseason. Every last dime. And if somehow Chris Paul would come to New York, we could maybe make the second round
of the
NBA playoffs.
The way you said that, I thought you were going to just hit me with the tagline, "Make New York great again," and I was going to throw my computer and walk off the screen.
Make New York basketball
New York basketball
mediocre again.
Kevin Ewing again.
Kevin Ewing?
What's his name? That's like I used to go to school with a guy called Kevin Ewing.
Ewing?
Patrick Ewing again.
Kevin Ewing?
Kevin Ewing, shout out to you who I used to go to school with.
We could also rig the NBA draft. That worked once in the past to get Patrick Ewing, so maybe we can do it again.
What about Kevin Ewing?
To get Lonzo Ball. If you've seen the guy for UCLA, he's dropping points like mad. Comment below, like, favorite, and subscribe. What do you think about Detective Kristaps? What do you think about Player Kristaps? What do you think about Jason's strategy to get the Knicks back to the second round of the NBA playoffs?